Hi, welcome and welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Hey, if no one else has told you already, I'm just going to say it. You were right the first time. Yep, you were right the first time. When you met the narcissist, you likely crossed paths with them at just the right time. The narcissist is constantly on the lookout or on the hunt for new sources of supply, as they discard old sources of supply that they've used up or that have found them out. And as they go through this dysregulation where they need sources to regulate their emotions, they will be hunting for new sources of supply. And they likely cross paths with you at just the right moment. And not only that, during that encounter, they likely revealed some things about themselves, either verbally or just physically revealed some things about themselves and in terms of who and what they were. And for whatever reason, you might have brushed it aside in an effort to zoom in or focus on whatever it was that was being presented to you, and not so much the way that it came across. But the narcissist likely revealed some things in their demeanor, in their words, when you met them the first time. It could be that they came across deeply insecure and kind of awkward or fidgety, or they might have just been talking really quickly and maybe they blurted out whatever it was that they needed to say to you or wanted to say to you, and then maybe backed off, or maybe they kind of started walking away or turning away. And they may have come at you from the standpoint of needing your help with something. It could be they might have needed your help personally. They always do. Or they may have needed your help or asked for your help with a project or something like that. And they might have, say, approached you from a romantic standpoint or some other kind of collaboration or opportunity. Either way, regardless of the nature of the relationship, the narcissist likely displayed some things in their demeanor that would tip you off that there was something off or odd about them that you should have really listened to and trusted your gut on. And you probably had that gut feeling or that inner voice that was telling you like, something's off here, or what's that all about? Or, what's wrong with this person? But like I said, for whatever reason, you chose to kind of sweep it aside. Maybe whatever it was that was being presented to you was overriding your gut, or you were allowing it to override your gut. And you were explaining away what you were seeing and proceeded with the conversation or whatever was going on at the time. Now, on top of that, you may have even pointed out to the narcissist at some point, like, hey, you seem like you're struggling with some deeply rooted insecurities. A lot of people might not say that, but you might have. Or maybe you pointed out that, hey, it seems like you maybe have some abandonment issues or something, especially if they were really quick to kind of back off once they approached you initially, were kind of shrinking back, and as maybe a sign of fear or just insecurity in approaching you, or fear of being rejected by you. So you may have pointed those things out or brought them up in conversation, in maybe recapping the first time that you met or whatever the case is. And you might have even gotten acknowledgement from the narcissist without really realizing it completely, you might have gotten acknowledgement that, well, that's probably true, or, you have a point, or, hey, you're probably right. You might have even gotten some kind of acknowledgement from the narcissist that you were right. But for whatever reason, you continued on with the relationship or whatever the nature of the situation was. At any rate, as you got deeper into the relationship, it probably became obvious later that you really got pulled deep into what ended up being a bit of a power struggle for just control in the relationship, which was one-sided anyway. So literally, you got sucked into a power struggle over a one-sided relationship. Listen to that again. Anyway, so I wanted to encourage you that trusting your gut is so important. Typically, when you have that feeling in your gut or have that kind of whatever it is, like a wave of warmth or whatever it is that's like that inner voice that's prompting you like, okay, something's off here, it's probably right. And in addition to that, doing your due diligence. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of that. Really doing your fact checking, doing your background checking, asking questions up front, about who this person is, what their background is, just details now more than ever. And also just really being able to take a step back, especially if you're being approached, whether it's personally or professionally, in kind of a hard selling kind of way or any kind of a pressuring way. Taking a step back and really taking control in that way, giving yourself some space to be able to process, what's being presented to you, what's being said to you, who's talking to you, being able to just really give them a good look over and, not in a creepy kind of way, but just really taking a look and really surveying the situation. Where are you? Who else is there? Who are they with? What do they look like? What do you notice about them? Is there anything that stands out to you as being a little odd or a little awkward or that doesn't really match like what they're saying? It's amazing how much time you can buy yourself, and also just, headache you can save yourself by taking a step back. You don't have to necessarily remove yourself from the situation unless, of course, that's what you're feeling like you need to do, but just even taking a step back, slowing down the process, or even inviting the other person to slow down. And I will tell you from experience that narcissists do not like it when you tell them to slow down. Slow your roll. Hey, time out, hold up. Let's slow it down a little bit here, or not so fast. They're not going to want to hear that because there's an agenda, there's a mission there, and they have to hook you in, they have to lock you in. And if they're not dealing with anyone else, if they've discarded other sources of supply, or if they've been found out by their other sources of supply and they've had to discard, or they've been discarded, there's an element of desperation. Gotta find somebody now, like now. And gotta meet somebody, gotta find them, gotta hook them in now. So regardless of the nature of the relationship, definitely take a step back, survey the situation carefully, ask a lot of questions. I think there is no question that's off limits. And the only question that's, a silly question is the one that you don't ask. So definitely do your due diligence, do your fact checking, do your background checking, ask for credentials. You have the right to do that. And anybody who is worthy of your time, attention, and any other consideration will not have a problem with that. Have you ever thought about like what drew you in, or what kind of odd things you noticed at the beginning when you met the narcissist? And what stood out to you as being kind of odd or off that you pushed aside, brushed aside, disregarded? Or something that your inner voice was telling you and you just ignored it? Comment below and share. I'd love to hear, and it may help someone else. Narcissists will present themselves to you at the beginning in a certain way when they approach you, and they will likely, in doing that, reveal things about themselves and who and what they are at that first encounter. And you may or may not listen to your inner voice, trust your gut, or enough to ask the deep questions, to take a step back. And for whatever reason, and you may have gone forward with the relationship, whatever the nature of it was, and found out later that you were in a power struggle, in a one-sided relationship for control that was just toxic and a lose-lose. Anyway, you know better now, and just know that you're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.